Hello and welcome. So, I have been knitting for over 20 years and crocheting for about 15 years. And this is the fifth video that I'm making with tips and tricks for people who want to learn some more tips and tricks for knitting and crochet. I have made a playlist, so if you want to watch the other videos, if you've not seen them before, then they're really easy to find on my page. Use a 0.5 millimeter larger crochet hook with your starting chain. If you've ever made things with either a foundation chain or a chainless foundation, you'll know that the first row can always be a real faff to actually start the piece because the stitches are a bit tighter than normal because it's a starting stitch. So if you use a hook that's 0.5 or even 1 millimeter larger than the one that you're actually using for the project, you'll find it much easier to get the hook in that first row of stitches. I hadn't come across this until fairly recently, and it makes so much sense. So I gave it a go, and it really does work. It's really handy. So I definitely suggest at least trying it the next time you're doing something with a foundation or a chainless foundation, because it will just make your life easier. Good lighting is really important. Whether you're doing knitting, crochet, cross stitch, embroidery, hand sewing, whatever it is that you're doing, or even machine sewing, really, whatever you're doing, having good lighting is really important. If you have a window that is south facing and gets a lot of sun in, sitting in front of that window during daylight can be a really good way of getting a lot of light on the project you're working on, helps save the strain on your eyes. But if you haven't got that, or you want to do things in an evening, having a nice strong light can be really helpful. Now, not everyone wants to put the big main light on in the living room at night. I know that that is verboten in a lot of households. So having things that you can use to help light what you're doing, especially if you're using a dark color, because every time I make something with a black yarn, I wonder why I made that decision, even with good lighting. So I have a few different ways. I did get a headlamp at one point, but I think the one that I got, it was a bit too hefty and left a bit of a line on my forehead, so I haven't used it very often. But I know you can get beanie hats with like a little light in, usually for people who want to go like dog walking and stuff. But those could be handy. I also have, I'll just unclip my light here. So this, I'm actually using it to light myself a little bit in this video. But this is wireless. You charge it, it's got a USB-C. Come on, focus. Never mind. It's got USB-C there, and it's got a couple of different settings. It's got like different brightnesses and different combinations of like white and warm light. And oh, it clips onto things, so it's really handy. I originally got this as a reading light in my reading corner in the living room, but I found it's really helpful for lighting myself when I'm on a video call at work or for making these videos, but also for clipping onto things to direct light at stuff. Um, Sometimes I'll sort of bend it around my neck so it's pointing at the thing I'm working at, and it's really helpful. Also, ring lights, like phone ring light things, they can be really handy. And it's the kind of thing you can pick up quite cheaply as well. So you're not having to break the bank in order to get them. Eye health is so, so important. You don't want to do anything that will damage your eyes any more than you're probably already doing by doing a complicated craft and looking at it up close all the time. But make sure you're not doing more damage than necessary by having good lighting. Have different attention level projects. So I have sort of complicated thinky crafts and less complicated, less thinky crafts. And I will do them in different places depending on their sort of level of thinkiness. Um, I know that sounds like a weird way to word that, but say, for example, if I'm making a granny square blanket, or like these these little cat mats that I've been making. This is just one massive granny square. That's all it is. There's nothing fancy about it. It's just doing a granny square and that's it. And that is a non-thinky craft for me because I can do a granny square without thinking. Whereas something like something with color work, something that has a lot of increases or decreases, or like a pattern in it. Some things can be a lot more sort of involved. So if I'm on a long car journey somewhere, for example, and my wife is driving, then I'll take non-thinky crafts because I don't have to have a pattern up in front of me, or I'm not having to consult an image on my phone or something. I can just sit there and do the thing. But then things that are a bit more complicated might be ones that I'll take with me to work because I'll be sat at my desk. I have access to my computer, so I can have a pattern up if I need it, or things to work on at home where I'm sat again with a computer or my devices, or what have you, wherever my pattern is, to be able to follow it along easily. But also, I think it's a good idea to have different levels of attention so that if you want to work on something but you don't have a lot of brain power, if it's been a long day or a long week at work, or there's just something that's affecting you, but you still want to keep your hands busy and do something, having a less thinky craft is handy. Or if you're watching a film and you do want to pay attention to the storyline and be able to watch it on the screen, doing something where your expertise level means that you don't have to look at it very often, that will lend itself to be able to pay attention to the thing you want to watch. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to find me elsewhere, the link to my link tree is in the doobly doo, and bye for now.